Okay, so today we're zeroing in on one specific group.
That's right, Group 167. And the contenders were Adele's 21, Meatloaf's Bat Outta Hell 3.
The third one, wow.
Yep. Then Michael Bublé's Crazy Love and Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten. So quite a mix. Pop, rock, big band, dance pop, all in one group.
Okay, so quite the showdown. Our goal then is to unpack the reviewers' thinking based on the sources, why these rankings, what details really drove those decisions. Let's unpack this.
Right. So the best way in is often to start from the bottom. Fourth place, eliminated first, was Natasha Bedingfield's debut, Unwritten.
Okay, and the reviewer actually had some good things to say initially. It sounded like they appreciated the uniqueness.
They did, yeah. Called it sumptuously different. Praised her for not just following trends, trying to blend pop melodies with like hip-hop and dance elements, taking her own path.
But that wasn't enough, obviously. Why did it end up last?
Well, the source says the material just falls flat in too many places.
Yeah.
So inconsistency seems to be the main issue. You know, good ideas maybe, but not carried through effectively across the whole album.
Were there specifics mentioned? Like weak tracks?
Oh, yeah. They pointed to weak, sloshy ballads like Size Matters and I Bruise Easily, slowing things down. And then some of the upbeat tracks like I'm a Bomb and Frogs and Princes apparently felt like they were trying too hard.
So issues at both ends of the energy spectrum.
Right. And even a collaboration with Bizarre was called forced. And interestingly, the reviewer mentioned liking her next album, NB, better, which suggests maybe the debut felt a bit underdeveloped for this kind of best ever quest.
Okay, so ambition wasn't rewarded if it wasn't consistent. That leads us to third place then.
Yep, third place was Michael Bublé with Crazy Love. And this is where it gets kind of tricky because the vocal praise was huge.
Oh, really? Like how huge?
Well, the reviewer apparently wrote that Bublé's voice probably even outshines Adele's wonderful voice, which is quite a statement given Adele was also in this group.
Wow, okay. And the music itself, was it just the vocals?
No, the music was praised too. It delivered on its promise. You know, the classic swing, big band sound, but done really well.
Yeah.
He had the mainstream hit with Haven't Met You Yet, but also pure jazz stuff like Stardust and All of Me.
So technical skill, great vocals. The reviewer mentioned perfect clarity and tone on Georgia on My Mind. So why third? Why eliminated?
This is the crux of it. Despite all that praise, the reviewer basically said it was not really my thing. Personal taste trumped the acknowledged technical skill.
That feels, well, it feels like a potential issue for a quest trying to find the objective best, doesn't it? If you admit something is technically brilliant, but dismiss it because it's not your preferred genre.
It's definitely tension, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could also argue it's honest, right? The reviewer is admitting the limits of their own taste within the structure. They're saying, look, I respect the craft. The class is obvious. There was even a funny note about sporadic James Bond theme snippets.
Okay.
But they're essentially saying, if I don't connect with it enough to want to listen again and again, it can't advance in my quest for the best. So subjectivity still rules, even in this structured format.
Fair enough. So technical brilliance gets parked if the personal connection isn't there. That brings us to the two albums that did advance. Let's start with the runner-up, second place.
That was Meatloaf, Bat Outta Hell 3. A really brave move, making a second sequel to such an iconic album.
Definitely walking into a minefield there. How did it fare?
Well, it starts off trying to be a bit modern. The first track, The Monster Is Loose, apparently has this, like, nu metal riff, which is surprising for Meatloaf.
Whoa. Okay. Did that last?
Not really. It quickly shifts back into that very familiar, bombastic, classic American rock sound, which is probably what the fans wanted, you know. The source highlights Blind as a Bat as a brilliant epic ballad, right in that classic style.
So it found its footing by returning to the roots, but it only got second place. What held it back from the top spot?
Seems like it sagged in the middle. The review mentions it gets lost and dragged out. Specific tracks like Bad for Good Cry Over Me were maybe too long, and another track, In the Land of the Pig, the Butcher is King, tried to be this big, epic centerpiece, but apparently didn't quite work.
Ah, the classic sequel bloat, maybe. Trying too hard to be grand.
Could be. But it clearly had enough strong moments to pull through. The reviewer notes it picks up again towards the end, with tracks like Seize the Night and The Future Just Ain't What It Used to Be.
So it finished strong.
Yeah, and ultimately that anthemic energy and solid quality was enough to, as the source puts it, easily dispose of Bublé and Bedingfield. And importantly, the reviewer felt it probably isn't that far behind 21, so it was a strong contender.
Okay, that perfectly sets up the winner then. Group 167's champion, advancing in first place, Adele's 21. Here's where it gets really interesting, maybe.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially why the reviewer even bought it in the first place. It wasn't just hearing a song on the radio.
Oh, what was it then?
It was the charts. The reviewer explicitly said they felt they had to buy it because it had been #1 on the Billboard 200 for 22 weeks. That sheer dominance, surpassing legends like Stick Pepper and The Wall, that's what made them pick it up. The reputation preceded the listening in a big way.
That's fascinating. So the hype actually worked. It forced the listen, but the music had to deliver, right?
Absolutely. And the reviewer wasn't totally unfamiliar. They mentioned having already seen Adele perform Someone Like You live and finding it spine-tinglingly emotional. So there's some prior positive connection.
Ah, okay. So what about the album itself, once they listened?
It starts incredibly strong, apparently. Tremendously was the word used. The first 2 tracks, Rolling in the Deep and Rumor Has It, just huge, soulful pop hits described as brilliantly arranged and produced. So top-notch quality right out of the gate.
Not just raw talent, but really well-crafted songs.
Exactly. And the review notes it's not just front-loaded with hits. The second half shifts gear, becomes slower, more soulful, kind of lit bluesy rock. It builds depth.
And that leads into Someone Like You again?
Precisely. Which clearly connected just as strongly on the record as it did live. That emotional peak seemed crucial. The final verdict. A rather delightful album.
So consistent quality, strong start, emotional depth, and that pre-existing connection with a key track. Seems like a solid winner.
It ticked a lot of boxes, yeah. The combination of the big polished pop moments and that raw emotion seemed to be the winning formula for this reviewer.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the final order for you listening. First place, advancing. Adele's 21. Second place, also advancing. Meatloaf's Bad Out of Hell 3. Third place, eliminated despite vocal praise. Michael Bublé's Crazy Love. And fourth place, eliminated for inconsistency, Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten.
And if you sort of connect the dots there, you see what this reviewer prioritized in this particular group, in this quest. It seems to be. #1, consistent quality combined with that emotional impact like 21 had.
Right.
That ranked higher than #2, which was the sort of anthemic power and strong high points of Bad Out of Hell 3, even with its weaker middle.
Okay.
And both of those were valued more than #3, the sheer technical skill that Bublé brought, because the genre didn't connect personally. And finally, all that was preferred over #4, which was Bedingfield's ambitious but ultimately flawed experimentation.
That lays it out very clearly. So 21 and Bad Out of Hell 3 move on to the next round of this massive musical tournament.
Yep, their quest continues.
So what does this all mean? I think the most surprising thing, for me anyway, is how 21's journey started for this reviewer. Not with the music, but with the stats. Buying it because it beat the Beatles and Pink Floyd on the charts. That's quite something.
It really is. And it leads to a thought-provoking question for you, especially if you think about music this way, maybe doing your own kind of album quest.
Yeah.
Does knowing that external stuff like the massive chart success, the records broken, does that actually change how you first hear an album? Does it add pressure or maybe enhance the experience? How much should the kind of reputation matter when you're trying to judge the art itself?